All right, Mike at Atlantis, Villino, Building 7. We are way up in the air here, whopping 4 feet. So we're still on the first floor here. I'm taking a look at the windows and how we put these in and the general construction as far as what we've got done so far. So as you can see, the new window is in. We've got it all protected with the plastic so we don't get any stucco on it, or we wouldn't get any of the waterproofing barrier on. When we got that, you can see some of the waterproofing barrier coming down here. Good thing we got the plastic on. Same thing's going to happen with the stucco, so just trying to keep those things clean. All right, so how we installed these windows. As you may remember, once we framed out the building and resheathed it, every single joint in the sheathing was filled in with the gold coat, and we also used the XL flash around the windows, the yellow waterproofing barrier. So once we did that, then we put the windows in and fastened them, per coat, and then we went ahead and proceeded with putting on our 60-minute pony roll paper, which is the black paper you see here. Now the reason for that is, I guess a lot of you are asking, well, I thought we were just using the waterproofing barrier, which is the gold coat, the yellow that went around the outside. And that is true, but we also need to use a separate system too. In order to get a rating for the waterproofing barrier or for stucco in general, we need a 2-coat system, or a 2-barrier system. So one would be your waterproof barrier, and we did put 2 layers of that on, 2 coats of that on, but that doesn't count because it's its own system. So we need 2 systems. So the secondary system would be this 60-minute pony roll paper, which we put on. And so that's the black that you see there. And so that qualifies it under the ASTM guideline to be a correct system to then apply stucco and get your waterproofing barrier. I guess in some other construction they may use dense glass and then paper, or waterproof barrier and then dense glass, but this is the system that we're using out here, which is a better system with our waterproof with the gold coat. All right, so we've got that done, and then of course the next step was the lathers came in and they put the dimpled lathe in. So that's going to be your commercial grade 3.4, not a galvanized lathe or anything like that. And the reason that this is dimpled, you may see on a lot of construction projects, you may see a lathe with paper actually attached to the back of it, and that's called a paper back lathe. And the reason you don't want to use that is because that lathe is flat. It is not dimpled. What the dimple does is it actually creates, you can see it sponging out here from the building as I push on it. That's what you want. It creates a pocket, a little bit of separation between the paper and the lathe. The reason that's important is because when you put your stucco on, your first coat of stucco, you need that stucco to key in behind here and grab this thing all the way around. And that's what really holds the stucco to the building. So if you have paper back lathe and it's flat and it's glued to the paper, there's no way to get the stucco behind it to get it to key in and attach. So that's the reason we use that. Now we're looking at the window construction and looking at the beads that we put around there, the plastic pieces that we put around there. Let's start with the window itself. We've got the window sticking out there, and what we've done is we've put a stop bead around the window itself, and that's this bead right here. So you can see it'll be keyed in right here with the stucco and the lathe, and then it comes out right here. So kind of working in tandem with that is going to be our band maker bead, and that's the bead on top right here. So in general, when you stucco a building, you're looking for a 7/8, a total of 7/8 thickness of stucco between your 2 coats. So up here, you can see there's a gap right here, and there's a little tray right here. And on the inside here, that's your 7/8. So your 7/8 is going to be in this field area in here. And then over here, between the stop bead on the window and the band maker bead, that's going to be 1.25 inches. So this is actually going to become a plaster band. A lot of people will use the foam bands in their construction and then drill those in, and have a piece in here which creates more gaps that you have to caulk and all that. It's a little bit more of a process to do it this way, but it's a lot better process because it'll just be solid stucco in here, forming up a band. A little bit more finishing work, but really will make it a lot nicer touch than just having a piece of foam in there. Another important part on when you're doing any kind of bead work or with any of these plastic pieces is to have an experienced guy come in there and back caulk them all. So if you don't do that, you're just allowing for more penetrations. You can see here in the corner right here, they're back caulking every single bead. Even though it's going to be stucco right here, stucco here, we're not talking about just the exterior like a lot of guys will do. It's got to go all the way through and down, even though this will be covered with stucco. Same thing in here. So these guys are really making sure that this stuff gets done throughout the building. If we look up the building up to the second floor here, you can see that we've got more control joint beads going down. And that's just to help the stucco. So if anywhere we think the building is going to flex a little bit, we put these control joint beads in, and then we can pretty much guarantee that that there's not going to be any crack lines in here. A lot of times when you look at a building, you'll see these and people think that they go all the way through, but as you can see, they don't. You can see the plastic all the way in there. It's a one piece. So it's just a control joint, allows for a little bit of flexing. You can see I squeeze it together. But that's how you do that. There's no penetration into the building. Once we put the stucco here and the stucco here, there's no way that water will travel down this channel and then out here, but there's nothing that's going to go into the building from that point. So that's what we're looking at right now with this stuff. We've covered quite a bit here. And if there's any questions that you might have, let me know, and we'll keep the videos coming as far as what we're doing out here.